Hello guys, in this video we're going to talk about the permanent maxillary first premolar. So this is the right permanent maxillary first premolar, and this tooth is also called bicuspid because it has two cusps, one on the buccal side and one on the lingual side. So called bicuspid, and it has two roots, so one on the buccal side and one on the lingual side. And also this tooth is fourth from the midline, and it replaced primary first molar during the tooth eruption. So let's see the chronology of this tooth. So initiation of calcification start during 1.5 year to 2 years, and enamel is completed at 5 to 6 years, and tooth tooth is erupted at the age of 10 to 11 years, and root is completed at 12 to 13 years. And the function of the tooth is it helps in grinding, and it also helps in tearing and piercing of the food. And the tooth numbering system, if we see the tooth numbering system, in universal it is 5 for the right and 12 for the left, while in FDI it is 1 4 and 2 4. And also morphology of tooth are needed to know because it helps in developing the prosthesis during the treatment, and also it helps in the restoration of the tooth, and it also helps in extraction of the tooth during tooth extraction. Now let's study this tooth from the buccal aspect, as it lies toward the cheeks, so-called buccal aspect, and the crown is roughly trapezoid in shape. So if we draw the outline of the crown, it resembles to the trapezoid shape, so more or less trapezoid shape. And also mesial outline of the crown is slightly concave, so this is the mesial outline of the crown, and this seems slightly concave when you compare with the distal outline. And distal outline of the crown is straight than the mesial outline, so here's the distal outline of the crown, and this seems more straight when you compare with the mesial outline. And distal contact area lies at the junction of occlusal and medial third. So when we divide the crown into three equal parts, this is the cervical third, this would be the middle third, and this is the occlusal third, and this is the junction of occlusal and middle third, and the distal contact area lies here. So that means this area is the contact where this area is the place where it contact with the other tooth. And also mesial slope of the buccal cusp is straight and longer, while distal slope is short and curved. So this is the mesial slope, and this is straight and longer. So the mesial slope is straight and longer, while this is the distal slope, and distal slope is curved and short when you compare with the mesial slope. And also buccal surface is convex, showing well developed medial buccal ridge. So this surface is convex when you see, and there is a well developed medial buccal ridge. So here is the well developed medial buccal ridge, and the root is long and resemble to the maxillary canine. Now let's study this tooth from the lingual aspect, as it lies toward the tongue, so called lingual aspect. So crown tapers toward the lingual side due to narrow lingual cusp. So this is the lingual cusp, and this tapers toward the lingual side because it has narrow lingual cusp. And also lingual cusp is spheroidal with pointed cusp tip. So if we draw the outline of the lingual cusp, this seems spheroidal in shape, and it has pointed cusp tip. And mesial and distal slope of lingual cusp meet at 90 degrees. So this is the mesial slope and this is the distal slope, and when they are joined together they meet at 90 degree. And also tip of both cusps are visible with mesial and distal slope. So both cusps are visible, so lingual cusp is here clearly visible, and also buccal cusp here, which is clearly visible, and also their slopes are visible, which are mesial slope here, and also the mesial and distal slope of the buccal cusp. Both cusps are visible. And the lingual root is convex and more blunt than the buccal root. So this is the lingual root, and it is convex and blunt. Now let's study this tooth from the mesial aspect. So this is the mesial aspect as it lies toward the midline, so-called mesial aspect. And the crown is roughly trapezoid in shape in the mesial aspect. So if we draw the outline of the crown, this resembles to the rough trapezoid shape. And buccal outline of the crown is slightly convex. So as if we draw the outline of the buccal outline, then this seems slightly convex as it curves outward. And also the lingual outline is smoothly curved, while here's the lingual outline, this is smoothly curved. And buccally, the crest of curvature is at the junction of cervical third. So on the buccal side, the crest of curvature or the height of contour is at the junction of cervical third. So let's divide the crown into three equal parts. So this is the cervical third, this is the middle third, this is the occlusal third. The height of contour or the crest of curvature is present at the junction of cervical third. So this is the junction of cervical third. So this is the area where the maximum convexity is present. And also cusp tip are well developed, so you can see both cusp tip are visible, buccal and lingual cusp tip are visible, and they are long and sharp. Also, mesial developmental depression is well developed. As you can see, there's a depression in the crown, and this is called mesial developmental depression. And this is well developed in the mesial aspect. And also, there is a presence of well developed developmental groove in the mesial marginal ridge. So here is the mesial marginal ridge. So this is the mesial marginal ridge, and you can see there's a groove-like structure here, and this is well developed in the mesial aspect. And both roots are visible, that is buccal root and lingual root, as you can see. Now let's study the distal aspect. As it lies away from the midline, so it is called distal aspect. And the features are similar with the mesial aspect, except crown surface is convex in all aspect. So when you compare with the mesial aspect, this seems more convex, and except in some areas. And also the cervical line is less curved, so this cervical line seems less curved when you compare with the mesial aspect. And also developmental group is absent, the developmental group on the mesial distal marginal rays are absent. And root trunk is flat, so this is the root trunk, it is more flat. Now let's see the occlusal aspect. So this is the occlusal aspect, and the shape is roughly hexagonal in shape. So if we draw the outline of the crown, then it resembles to the hexagonal in shape. So this is more or less hexagonal in shape. And the buccolingual dimension is greater than mesiodistal, so the length from the buccal to the lingual is greater than from length from the mesial to the distal. So this length is greater than this length. And also the well developed central developmental groove is present, and this divides the crown into buccal and lingual equally. So here is the well developed central developmental groove, as you can see the line and the center that runs all the way here, and this divides the crown into buccal cusp and lingual cusp here. And also there is a presence of mesial and distal triangular fossa. So here on the mesial side there is a mesial triangular fossa, and also on the distal side there is a distal triangular fossa. And buccal triangular ridge is well developed and developed from the central groove. So as you can see here, elevation part here, this is called buccal triangular ridge. So this is well developed, as you can see the elevation part, while lingual triangular ridge is less prominent. So this lingual triangular ridge is less prominent, while buccal triangular ridge is well developed. And lingual cusp is pointed than the buccal cusp. So this lingual cusp, this is more pointed than the buccal cusp. So in conclusion, it has two roots, buccal and lingual are also palatal, and it has two sharp cusps, that is buccal and palatal cusp, and buccal cusp is larger than the palatal cusp, and mesial slope of buccal cusp is longer than the distal slope, and also it has well developed mesial developmental depression on the mesial surface, and occlusal outline is more angular. So this was it.